Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome. Welcome to another live stream. Make sure I'm got some audio here. Audio there. Boom. Sounds like we're good. I have some issues with my chat. I do not see my chat. So I am talking blind here. Let's see if we can refresh it. How's everybody doing this week? How was last week? Yeah, everything shows we're good. Okay. Well, I can't see my chat, so I'm going to have to do a little workaround here. Let me work this out here, and then we will get started. All right, working on getting a live stream here for us, guys, or getting my chat back up, guys. Once I got that up, we'll go ahead and get started here. Let's try that, see if that works. There it is. All right, we got that all working. Good morning, everyone. Northern, what's up? How are you doing, Jeff? Good morning, Northern. Georgette, Chris, Draco, Arturo, good morning. Corey. Good morning. Okay, let's open in prayer. And let's rock and roll. Father, we just thank you for another week. Thank you for the opportunity to trade. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your leadership. I pray a blessing over today's live stream. I pray that you would lead and guide me, that you would lead and direct us, Father, in the way that we should go. Father, thank you for your leadership. We honor you, and we give you all the glory, honor, and praise, Father, for you are the one that has given us the ability to produce wealth. So today we choose to produce wealth with you, in Jesus' name. And everyone in the chat said, amen. It was a crazy Friday, huh? It was a crazy Friday. It really was. We were in a trade. If you weren't on the live stream, we were in a trade going long when the news hit. We were going long, and Trump tweeted. And instantaneously, I was down $700 on all my accounts. Immediately, I sold all my contracts. Took my, I'm not gonna lie, I took my trading screen off. I took it off so you couldn't see it, and I immediately went short. I was not gonna do that in front of everybody because that's just not something. I'm like, I don't want somebody to be, oh, he was going long. Oh, now he's going short. Click, click, click. No, I'm not going to do that. End up going short, making all of that back plus about $1,200 on each account. Then later in the day, I decided just to trade one account because it was still falling, and ended up making another $1,200 on one account or so. Like Greg said, I slayed it on Friday. I'm not behind though today. Today is I'm break even today. So let's go ahead and take a look at the market. I haven't logged into anything yet. I'm not sure I will. We'll see. We're going to jump to the daily, and we're going to see some craziness right here. I think it's more appropriate to jump to the week here. We'll see. Here's our previous week. Previous week high and previous week low. I like to mark those. Okay. We can see that we mitigated this weekly fair value gap from that large drop. That seemed to be our target. There were some smaller targets that were in here, but ultimately that was our target. If we draw this swing low to this swing high, we have crossed equilibrium. Now we could probably go down to this level right here if we wanted, because it's the bigger down close candle, and it's right before that weekly fair value gap. If we do that, oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this. That puts that equilibrium right around where we're sitting right there. I like that. That looks okay to me. Let's go to the monthly, make sure we're anchored correctly, okay? And then going back down to the daily time frame, we can see that we opened up 200 points. I mean, everything that I'm sharing with you is all stuff you guys know right now. And we are inside this inversion, this daily inversion, this daily IFVG. I'm going to call that. I'm going to mark that out there. We want to see if we eventually get back above this. This is our resistance right now. I want to see this as resistance. We will do a daily affirmation today. I was just making sure everything looks good here. All right, so we will do our daily affirmation. Once we hit, I don't know how many people we have on the live stream, to be honest with you. I'm assuming less is 67. So I'm sure we'll probably get to 100, 150 as time goes on, but we're going to kind of just keep going here. Why is it so crazy today? Jose, well, we came off of, a Friday, a major drop in liquidity, major drop in price, major news, and there's some uncertainty. And typically after a massive move, you're going to get a lot of volatility that's random. Was the reason why I chose not to be on stream at 9:15 this morning and chose to go hunting instead. By the way, I was within 10 feet of a couple bucks. They were younger, so I didn't shoot. I didn't take any of them. They were, they had, some tiny little things on their head. But it was really cool just to sit there, watch them. A couple does and their fawn and a couple bucks. Only last about 20 minutes. But then trading, yeah, one of those, we'll do a video eventually probably of me trading and shooting. I'm not in a deer blind. I'm on a tree stand. So when I was there, man, the deer, I don't have anything to cover my face. So the deer, when they're always looking around, but they see this white face and then go. And then I'm just standing there like this, not moving. Eventually, they start eating grass or foraging again, and next thing you know, their head comes back up. It's pretty fun. I'm bow hunting. All right, enough with the bow hunting. Everybody's like, yeah. Bella Kim's like, hunting, ew. I don't know. I'm just having fun. Okay. So we're down. Let's jump up to the 4 hour. So we have this huge, actually we should mark our opening range gap because it's just our new week opening range gap because it's just absolutely gigantic. We're going to have to mark this here. Let's mark that out. New week opening gap. Including moose. I would love to. I'm not in an area that has moose. We don't got no moose around here. We don't have any elk in eastern Nebraska either. So it's just white-tailed deer. And once I get, I'm a new hunter. In fact, I haven't shot anything with the bow that I have yet. I got into it a couple years ago because of the direction society's going with technology and just how much time kids spend on electronics, that I said that I want my kids to be outdoors boys. I want them to be outdoors. So that means we're going to get jet skis, we're going to go hunting, we're doing fishing, we're doing all that kind of stuff, and in replace of this demand for video games. I play lots of video games. I let the kids play video games, but it can so easily be overdone if you're not careful. So we got this 4 hour fair value gap right here. We want to see how that holds. This is going to be a key 4 hour fair value gap. And obviously we have this 4 hour fair value gap right here. I'm not even going to mark it because we're not going to do it based on the 4 hour. We're going to focus on this daily fair value gap. I want to see it stay under. But obviously we have to wait an entire day to see if that's going to happen. So I'm not interested in this 4 hour. I am interested in price maybe coming up to this new week opening gap from October 6th. If you drop down to the hourly, that 4 hour fair value gap has a tiny hourly, but very small. Dominic, good morning. I am using NQZ, top right corner, NQZ 2025, the hourly time frame right now. I'm on the hourly time frame. I remember when I first started and I would watch other people. I'm like, why is my chart not the same? What's going on? This is horrible. I'm going to miss an opportunity. Now I'm just like, am I missing something? Did I miss a trade? Oh. Okay. We'll get another one. Let's check out the 30-minute here. Actually, I want to put a high and low. I would recommend you do this and find where the midpoint is. Okay, so between the high and the low of that range, the midpoint is right here. And we've already hit that. So if we're going to see lower prices, this is where I'd want to see lower prices from. Do I expect it today? Probably not. But I want to look for price giving some type of manipulation and then distribution. And then maybe see if we can get it back down to the new week opening gap high for the 13th. Yeah, I don't trade Asia session. The only way I'll trade Asia session, Dominic, is if we sweep a key level during that time that I had on the previous day and I'm in front of the charts. Many times I'm not even in front of the charts. I'm hanging out with my kids. I'm coaching football. I'm going to be coaching basketball. So I'm doing all kinds of stuff that the Asia session that starts at 8 o'clock my time, I just don't have time for. 7 o'clock my time, I just don't have time for. Dropping down to the 15-minute time frame, you can look and see how we've been inside a range since we opened. We created our high, created our low, had some manipulation off the open, I'm guessing. Yep, 930. And we are inside this range right here. So this is a London high. And then we've swept London low already. What's up, Lincoln? Dropping down to the 5-minute. We can see some consolidation here. Manipulated higher, swept the low, swept the highs. A lot of back and forth. I call this seek and destroy. Okay, this is seek and destroy conditions. So if we base it on our conversation from the other day, if you want to trade something like this, which I don't recommend, is we drop a GAN tool, GAN box, from the low to the high, get the quarters, find out where 25, 50s, and 75% is, and you will go short here in the extreme premium, and you'll go long in extreme discount. That's the idea that around it. Now, you can make a whole trading system off of this. You just have to backtest it and make sure it has some consistency to it. I haven't. I mean, there's some legitimacy to it for sure. And so I'd anchor it to this high actually, and then I would anchor it to this low. So anything in extreme premium or extreme discount, that's where you would potentially, if the time's right and the market's right, you would look at taking a long in discount and a short in premium. But that's not my model. So And I don't like trading in consolidation. Now, this is a large consolidation range, 725 to 945. We're talking 225 points, 220 points. You can make some good money inside of this. So we could possibly look for a scalp, 10, 20 handles. I'm only going to be trading one contract, or I'm going to only be trading one contract, maybe two, but for sure only one account. I am not going to copy trade anything today. It's a bank holiday as well, so I'm not too enthused about trying to make something happen today. The only reason I will trade or do at least one trade is a lot of prop firms require you to have some type of consistently daily trade, which is a little annoying. They do allow you to not trade for like a week, but after a week you can get in trouble. I don't like that fact. It's part of the game, so if you understand it, you just take a quick micro trade, in and out, call it good, walk away. What's up, Ryan? Yeah, Daniel, I only got on around 10 o'clock. 10:30 is when I got on. Lot of space down here to rebalance. So it wouldn't surprise me if we come down here. 1 minute, we swept this liquidity, okay, extreme premium. We had a failure swing higher, displacing lower. The 15 minute in 6 minutes will close below here. You can see how we've not had any closures below these up close candles. So that's kind of what we're looking for. If we can get a 15-minute close, that would give me some confidence about looking for a retracement into a fair value gap to take a short. We have a 15-minute breaker right here. This 930 candle is the opening price. We should mark anyway, but that would be a nice little breaker block area. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and mark our opening, our first presented fair value gap, which is 933. 933 is our first presented fair value gap. So we'll see if price maybe comes in there, respects that area, respects 930, respects the breaker, and then this is the breaker, high, low, higher, high, right? We're looking for that 6-minute close below that 15-minute order block that's going to be right here. This is a 15-minute order block, but we have to wait for the 15-minute close. And then we can look at price. What is that green box? What is that green line? What is this orange line? What is that? What is that? Monthly opening price. That seems to be incorrect. Let's see. Monthly opening price here. Okay. That is correct. So let's change the color of that to be dark red. Can I just change that? I'm just going to say MOP. Monthly opening price. Now, because we are or have seen seek and destroy conditions, sweep of liquidity, turn, sweep of liquidity. If we break lower, I'm not interested in taking a short until we have a retracement. I do not want to take a trade on the expansion on a breakout because there's a good chance it could just come right back inside the range. I don't want to trade that. I ain't no breakout artist. There are old traders and there are counter trend traders, but there are very many old counter trend traders. Arturo, what's up? God bless you, my friend. You're welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry, 777 ML. We'll say ML. Sorry about that, my friend. Have to trade with the trend. I tend to trade counter trend. So it's a little more risky to trade that, for sure. Oh, let's put that up there. There we go. We are going to do some giveaways probably Thursday this week. We'll do some giveaways Thursday and Friday. So hang around till then. We're going to be introducing a little bit of My Funded Futures. I had a conversation with them. And if you guys like My Funded Futures, we'll talk about the pros and cons of them and do a couple giveaways. Yep, it's a new toy. It goes out hunting when he wants to. I am going to be during hunting season. That's going to happen more frequently. So basically through November. You guys can handle that. All right, it's almost 11 o'clock. Let's see if we have a 5-minute fair value gap here. All right, so we have a 5-minute fair value gap here and here. I think I want to wait for something like that, this one or this one, to be hit. The 15-minute fair value gap closes in 41 seconds. That's going to give us that candle that we're looking for. Okay, I like that. I like this minor sweep of liquidity. I like this the failure swing with that sweep. And now looking to potentially rebalance areas down here. We just moved so quickly here that I just think this is going to want to be rebalanced to some degree. It's crazy that we dropped 1,000 points on Friday. See, I want to do that with the boys, John. I want my boys to have those memories. My dad, his brother hunted, his dad hunted, but he didn't like the idea of killing animals. I get it, but every time he would see something like that, he'd get as a kid, he would get really emotional. I don't like killing anything. I think that was probably, I saw a buck and a doe, and then a fawn, and then another doe and buck all walking all together. And I'm like, nah, it would have been a lot easier to shoot one if it was by itself. That's just the truth. It would have been a lot easier. All right, so the 15-minute closed. And look how we've reacted here. By the way, gold's over $4,100. That's sweet. Silver's at $52. Holy macaroni. So I'm watching this 5-minute here. I have 2 of them, so I'm going to mark both of them just because I'm not sure exactly which one that I want to pay attention to. We also have this, dang it. We also have this 1 minute. We also have this 1 minute right here that's sitting up here. It did mitigate that. Okay, it did mitigate. I'll get rid of that. I'm not interested in going short right here. I'm not. Actually, let's look at the 2 minute. 2 minute, yeah. I don't want to. I just think we're just gonna bump back up into the range. So I might look, if we sweep here and start seeing some animation to the upside, I might look for a long. I would rather, it's either sweep this low and then see if we get aggression and take a long up into these 5-minute fair value gaps, or retrace into these 5-minute fair value gaps and then take a short down towards the bottom of this range. But I do not want to go short right here, personally, just knowing the conditions that we're in. Hey, Tyler, you trade bank holidays also, or you just tape reading? Mostly tape reading. I'm not trading any size, and I'm only doing one account. I'm not doing any copied accounts. Are you losing? I'm not in a trade, Freeman. What's up, Ted? Good morning. I'm going to get rid of this new day opening gap. I have September 22nd still on here. Let's get rid of that. I got liquidity to pay attention to. 9:45. I'm guessing it was somewhere around here. Oh yeah, right there. I don't know, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I like the sweep of liquidity. But with all the volatility that we've been seeing, I mean, some of these candles are, that one candle is 45 handles. I mean, the volatility on these are really big. Really big. Really big. Oh, I forgot to mark midnight open. Let's mark midnight open. Let's see where that's at. It's right at the midpoint of everything else. going to get rid of the Gann box here. What hours do you use for London low, John? 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. When I'm looking to find the London high to a London low, I use 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. However, if the 3 a.m. is like an obvious swing low, I will choose that over the 2 a.m. Yeah, I think 3 a.m. There's something about 3 a.m. when it makes a swing low or sweeps liquidity right around 3 a.m. It can run the other way. It is a beautiful point for reversal, but I'm sleeping like a baby at that time. It's 2 a.m. my time. Is that what it did at 3 a.m.? Right here, 3 a.m. 213. Yeah, so like a high like this, it's not exactly at 3 a.m. sometimes. It made a high right here, so you'd have to be really careful because it made a high here. People probably got faked out here. Today, I mean, we can't even look at today as comparison because of what happened on Friday. But that high would have gotten people. I mean, if I was trading, I probably would have gone short here. But it put some people in some pain, I'm sure, this morning. Do you see the untested 5-minute OB from the Asia session a little bit below the lows? Let me take a look. 5-minute. There is not an unmitigated 5-minute There's not an unmitigated 5-minute fair value gap. There was one at 7:45, but that was mitigated at 7:45 p.m. That was mitigated at 7:10 a.m. Is that the one you're talking about? 7 ml. Or tell me the time frame for the 5 a.m. if you want me to look at it. A little bit below the two black candles. Are you talking about this one right here? Is that the one you're talking about? Right at 6 o'clock? My question is, are we shifting to bearish on the daily, or was that just a sweep of liquidity? I think it's too hard to tell. No, above it. I need you to, are you able to, do you have the chart to tell me the time? Like, is it 6:15? Is it 7:20? is it 745? $7.20. Yeah, so that was mitigated at $7.35. So if price dropped back down into it, which it doesn't look like it did yet, that doesn't look significant to me. What looked significant is, see this low right here? That low right here, that's right above this 5-minute fair value gap. And that, to me, would have been significant. See how this is an untested fair value gap right there? I talk about this in my fair value gap video. Fair value gaps below swing lows like this are going to be mitigated. So if we look left, I can almost guarantee you that we found some form of support here. Let's look. I don't even know. Yeah, so there's the 5-minute right there. See how it supported that? It swept this liquidity, rebalanced this. It looked like it even reached for some lower liquidity on lower time frame probably. And then it found support and moved higher. To me, that is what you look for. Swing low, and then you look left for the unmitigated fair value gap. All right, so price looks like it's moving higher. See how it's coming back into the range? So my question is the 5-minute going to find support here, or are we going to push past it again? This is what I was afraid of. Extreme discount comes back into the range. Yeah, I would say, Ted, the only thing about those equal lows is I'm more interested about the new week opening gap, being mitigated first. It's just too large of a new week opening gap, which also makes a very large opening range gap. And typically when we have those very large opening range gaps, they stay unmitigated for a period of time. So even though I want to see lower prices to mitigate some of this down here, it may not do that, and it may continue to look for higher prices. I'm looking to see if this 5-minute is going to mitigate here, or if this 5-minute is going to close above. Technically, we need to move this to the high right there. $15-minute closed. Did not close above that down close candle. There is an unmitigated 15-minute fair value gap sitting right here. Is this the suspension? I haven't even watched the video, Ted. If you're here, is this what he calls the suspension? When there's a volume imbalance above and a volume imbalance below? Is that what he's calling the suspension blocks? I'm assuming that's what it is. I mean, it makes sense. It's suspended by the volume imbalances. If that's the case, we have mitigated it. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. But even still, there's this small unmitigated fair value gap sitting right here that if we want to reach lower, that's where I think it could reach to. Everything else is mitigated. And if we're going to, here's the thing I'm going to note about this, guys. From this low to this high, if we start getting down into this range, we're going to probably do something like this. And then maybe come back in the range. But that's why I don't, it's going to have to prove to me it wants to go lower. Because filling all of this is tough. It has to be very intentional. Hey, bro, if we have a large fair value gap from Friday and we have opening gap from yesterday night, which do you think it will go for first? Depending on the size, Jason. So this here, I don't think we're going to mitigate right away. I don't think we will. I think it's going to leave this open. We have already mitigated some of the opening range gap, which is right here to here. And we've mitigated how much of that? A quarter of it, roughly. So the next thing that I would be looking for is price to reach this daily fair value gap again, to dip back down into it to find support, because we're bouncing between this daily fair value gap, inversion fair value gap, and this daily fair value gap. Which we did close below. And then immediately came back above it. So I would be looking for the opening range gap as an area. Now, this is the area for extreme premium that you could potentially start looking for price to roll over here. So for that purpose, from this low to this high, once we get into premium, I'll look at taking a short and see what happens to illustrate what I'm talking about. I'm only going to do it with, we'll do it with 3 micros on one account. Stop loss would have to be probably 30 handles. All right, so I'm going to take a short right there to talk about what I was referring to earlier about selling in extreme premium and going long in extreme discount when we're inside of a range. So I'm anticipating price to come back because of this seek and destroy conditions to come back into this range here around 930. So it's ranging back and forth. Now it could sweep this high, and if it does, then we're going to get stopped out. But I'm doing it based on us being at 1120. We're outside of a macro time. So I'm hoping that we retrace back down into this range and we get that response. So I like the way that candle looks. We'll see how it closes. So this is not meant for you. This is not, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not a copy trading, or this is not a signal service of any kind. So trade at your own risk. So stop loss is going to be somewhere up here. And target is going to be midpoint of the range that it created. So from the low to the high that it creates. So target is roughly around 930 right now. If we go higher, so if we make a slightly higher high, then our midpoint changes. Our target potentially changes. But I like this fair value gap right here. We'll see if it wants to do it or not. The other benefit, or the other thing that makes this less stressful, is size. I'm taking 3 micros and I'm only doing it on one account. Do you understand what I mean? My emotions aren't a part of this decision. Now, if I would have been like, oh, let's average down and let's get more, then I could maybe start feeling some of those emotions. But when you're taking trades, you have to keep the emotions out. So whatever size allows you to keep your emotions neutral is the size you need to stay at. Now, at some point, you're going to have to grow as a trader, and you're going to have to challenge yourself to increase your size and then force yourself to follow the plan. And then as you do that consistently, the homeostasis of your emotions on that trade at that higher level becomes normal. And you're like, yep, all right, this is good. Done it before. Just let it play out. Let's see what happens. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, then you get stopped out with proper risk management and a loss that's manageable. But this is based on us trading inside the premium range, looking to go short right here. That's what this trade idea is based on. Seek and destroy conditions, which we can see the back and forth, and then we're just going to play off of the premium and then play off the discount. It will work. The question is, at what point does it stop working? Is that right now? I don't know. We'll find out. Why do I constitute that as premium? I'm constituting as premium based on the dealing range I'm trading inside of. So there's always a bigger dealing range. There's a dealing range. A huge one here, right? The dealing range I'm trading inside of right now is from this low to this high. All price action has been inside of that. So I'm drawing those levels based on that dealing range. We're inside it. It's not at the swing high. It's above the swing high by 10 handles. Target is 930, where my 930 level is. Here, let's actually increase this to that high. Target is sitting at 24,814 if we're going to get it. 24,814. So it's going to be somewhere around there if it's going to continue the seek and destroy pattern, staying inside the dealing range. And that's a 50-point move right there. we did drop down into this 5-minute and then reacted aggressively higher. Not tremendously, but I would call that a reaction. So that's not good. I don't like that personally. But we'll see. Just gonna play the plan that we played out or set up and see if it plays out. Honestly, some of my trading models and trading ideas come from, Jeff, me just testing the market, saying like, I've seen this happen. Let's just try it with a small account, put some conviction in it, and see what happens. I'm going to move this a little bit higher real quick in case we get a flash higher and it comes back down. I hate those flashes of those wicks that just flash higher and then it comes back down. So I just don't want to get stopped out. But some of my ideas or trading ideas that I begin to backtest start with this. Finding out where price is ranging and then maybe taking a test trade and then going, oh, I like that. Well, we should backtest it to really get some more conviction. Because right now, I have a little bit of conviction. But if I had a lot of conviction, I could probably quadruple my size. And that's where you grow as a trader, is your ability to get the data behind your idea and then you stack on the size. You don't stack on the size pre-data, pre-results from your data. You can't do that. If you do that, you're going to allow your emotions to kick in, pull you out of the idea because you don't have the conviction. Conviction is based on data. Your confidence, conviction is based on confidence, and confidence is based on you knowing if something's going to work out or not, likely to work out or not. So if you know something's is likely to work out only 50% of the time, you're not going to have huge conviction. But if you have something else that's 75% wins 75% of the time, your confidence level is bigger. You're like, there's 75% odds. 3 out of 4 times this is going to win. I'm going to go big. Click, click, click. Take your hands off. Let the trade play out. I will do I'm planning on doing some backtesting today. Maybe we'll do it live. We'll do it live. We'll do it for sure this week. Another live where we do some backtesting. So it's 11:30. This is where I'm expecting some type of flash higher. And then hopefully it comes back down into the range. How many likes do we have? I haven't seen my like count. I don't know if I can even see it. How many likes do we have? Can somebody tell me? I don't know why I can't see it. Viewer activity. Stream setting. There it is, 46. Okay, let's hit 65 likes and then we'll do our daily affirmation. 65. So we need another 15 likes, folks. Let's hit 65. And then we'll do our daily affirmation. It's actually based on the conversation we're having with backtesting. I'll talk to you about that here shortly. But it goes right in line with this whole idea of backtesting that I'm touching on. So it's a good one. You're going to like it, I promise you. So once we hit 65, we have fewer number of viewers today. So once we hit 65, we'll do that. This looks bullish. Looks bearish. I'm not going to give it much more room. It needs to start moving in my direction fairly soon, or we'll cut the trade. This was the time I expected price to do that wick higher. I said it would be around 11:30. Here's the 11:31 candle. So 11:30, 11:31. I want to see this come back down into this range and start moving lower here. We have nothing else here except liquidity. So either it will stop me out here or it has to roll over here. There's nothing else. I mean, there's no other reason to go higher except for to grab that liquidity. Seven more likes and we'll do our daily affirmation. And I'll probably turn this into a video, what I'm going to talk about here. What's up, DS? How you doing? You know, people think the reason my channel name is what it is because of that comment right there. I know there's people out there that have values and want to incorporate Jesus in what they're doing, and it's the easy way to let people know, hey, I probably believe similar things as you do. Come hang out. Let's talk about it. And you got here just for the first time. We're going to be doing what's called our daily affirmation, DS. Every day we do a daily affirmation. We do a daily affirmation that is to inspire, to help refocus, to help bring direction for your trading journey. That's scripture based. There's a lot of good theories out there, but most of them, all the good ones, are based on scripture. They just remove God from their description of what they are trying to teach you. And my hope, my desire is to bring God back into the center of what we do, because there's life in it. So that's what we're doing. That's what I want this channel to be about. I'm not here to entertain. I'm not here to impress people. But I just want to be faithful with what I believe the Lord's told me to do. 5 more likes. 5 more likes, and then we'll get started. I need to actually write out how the structure of this video. I'm just writing a couple notes so I make sure I touch on the points because this is a good one. 2 more. Still in the trade. Price swept that high, and we're finally consolidating here. We can consolidate probably for the next 10 minutes, and ultimately I would want to see this roll over as we approach the lunch hour macro. So that's what I'm anticipating, that we roll over and move in that direction. What's up, Kevin? All right, I'm going to stay in this trade. I'm going to remove it at the moment. As we're going to start the daily affirmation, and I want to pull up a couple other things here. So I will be in this trade. We'll touch on it here in a little bit, but we're going to remove that for right now. It's not going anywhere. All right, so that and all right, we're going to share the daily affirmation here in about 1 minute. I'm just making a couple notes here. Price is still coming down. Price is still coming down. Bada bing, bada boom. Am I able to share that? I wonder if I can see that. Camera over background. I can't do that. All right, we're going to do it. All right, so this is going to be done a little bit different, just so you guys know. I'm gonna turn this into a video that I'm gonna post on YouTube. So it's going to sound like a YouTube video. I'm talking to you, but I'm going to do an intro and all of that stuff. All right, here we go. In this video, I'm going to share with you how a Bible verse will prove to you that you can become a profitable day trader. It's going to give you the secrets to actually going from unprofitable to profitable. It's extremely simple, and most people ignore it completely. Today, during my live stream, I'm sharing how this Bible verse will make you a profitable trader. We do every day a daily affirmation, and the affirmation that I'm going to share with you today is on this verse exactly. So before we get to the affirmation and I show you in detail how to become a profitable day trader, let's start with the verse. The verse here, let me jump to it. Here is the verse. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 6. It says, "Remember this, whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows generously will also reap generously." Now, when I first heard this verse, I viewed it as money related, and it is. But I had this revelation that it was a lot different than how I learned about it growing up. When I grew up, I viewed this verse in the following way. Whoever sows sparingly will reap sparingly, meaning if I give $1, I'm going to get a little back. But if I give $1,000, I'm going to get $1,000 or more back. So it was in the context on the size of my gift. As I built my relationship out with the Lord, it changed. My mindset completely shifted reading some great, phenomenal books on sowing and reaping, and my whole perspective changed. And this is my view now. What the Bible is saying in this verse right here is not about the size of your gift, but about the frequency that you're giving or the frequency that you're sowing. So whoever sows generously will reap generously. So the best way to picture this is imagine inside this container, my coffee cup, is a bunch of seeds, okay? And I'm walking in my open field. There's nothing around me, and I need to plant some trees. If I take one seed, drop it. I take another seed, drop it. Take another seed, drop it. I'm going to have 3, maybe 4 trees. If I'm sowing corn, I'm going to have four corn plants. However, if I take a handful of those seeds, individual seeds, and I have, let's say, a few hundred in my hand, and I scatter them, my harvest will be larger than if I was to simply take a seed here, drop it, a seed here, and drop it. So it's not about the size of the gift itself, but it's about the quantity of the gift or multiple gifts. So you could give $1 here, $1 here, $1 here, $1 here. That's just as impactful as you giving $100 here, $100 here, $100 here. The scripture goes on to say that the Lord wants you to be a generous giver, not having any compulsion from somebody else or something else to make you give. He wants you to be a joyful giver. So this is not about the size or the amount. It's about giving with a joyful heart, and whatever you sow, you're going to reap. Okay, we laid the foundation. We have the scripture. Now, how does this apply to day trading? If you study a little here, a little there, if you backtest a little here, a little there, guess what your result's going to be? A little here, a little there. Our daily affirmation for today is this. Today, I sow generously through focused study and discipline. Every hour I invest in learning produces a harvest of wisdom, skill, and abundance in due season. Here is the truth about most traders. We sow a seed, we're expecting the harvest the next day. It's going to happen in due season. And the one that brings the harvest is the Lord. Our job is to sow the seed. You sow the seed of studying here. You continue. You throw hours of seeds being thrown out, of backtesting, of studying. In due season, I promise you, you will see the harvest. Most traders want to skip the due season part. They're like, well, I didn't get it. It must not work. I'm going to the next thing. So they abandon their seed that they sowed. They abandon the young plant that's now being nurtured, and they're like, this small plant isn't producing the harvest that I want. Let's set that aside and let's go find something else new. And you start sowing brand new seeds somewhere else. Different seed. If you were sowing corn before and you're like, that's not producing the harvest I want. So you go find a new strategy and you get a new set of seeds, and now you're sowing soybeans or a completely VWAP strategy. And now you're sowing that seed. But the problem is that most traders don't spend enough time cultivating the seeds that they're planting. By you planting that seed, by you studying, you're cultivating that seed and allowing that to produce a harvest in due season. This is a principle, a kingdom principle that so many successful people in business, in trading, in real estate, in sports apply to their lives, and it produces the result they're looking for in due season. So, how can we take this and apply it to what we are discussing today? Let's take, for example, if you want to learn to trade inside of a range. From this low to this high, we have price going up and down. Well, if you would pay attention that every time we reach into the extreme premium set right here, based on this dealing range from this low to this high, this is a dealing range. It's where price is dealing within. And we're noticing that price is kind of just doing this back and forth thing. So we're like, this is some consolidation. And you start noticing, every time we get up to this extreme premium area, we have a retracement. Every time we get into this extreme discount area, we have a retracement back inside the range. So you might see that casually and say to yourself, what if I was to go short here and go long down here? Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't work. But the only way you're going to know is by investing and sowing seeds into finding out. Sowing seeds of backtesting. Putting a short when you're in extreme premium. Putting a long when you're extreme discount. Start finding out, when price is trending, that's not a right time to do it. But you're never going to get that data without doing the backtesting. So if you were to simply backtest this ranging strategy of selling an extreme premium and discount, you will start getting data. That data will then give you confidence. Confidence that, hey, this doesn't work. Okay, I'm going to abandon this and I'm going to sow a different seed that might produce a bigger harvest. Multiple seeds of studying daily, in and out, day in, day out. And you're going to build that confidence either for it or against it. Maybe it works. And now you have, based on taking 100 trades, you start seeing a pattern that, man, this actually wins in these specific conditions 60, 70% of the time. Now, the next time you see it within those conditions, now you're not going, I think it might go short here. I might try a short and then get taken out because your emotions are pulling you saying, I think I'm wrong. But the more you see it over and over and over from the seeds that you've sown consistently over time, it will produce a harvest that will be worth it. Most people aren't willing to put in the time to sow the multiple seeds. Sowing seeds is work. It requires your time. It requires your energy. It requires you to actually put effort into something instead of just saying, I'm this strategy, they say it's 90% of the time, I'm just going to take that and I'm going to use it myself. Well, I can promise you it's not going to work for you because you haven't built the conviction that only comes from sowing seeds of backtesting, sowing seeds of studying a specific model. You want to see the results, you have to put in the time and the backtesting to get those results. If you do this, as 2 Corinthians chapter 9 says, you will receive a harvest. If you sow generously, you will reap generously. This is a principle in the Bible that is true despite what you think, despite what you feel. It is your choice to use it or not. For me, if everything else that I've tried hasn't worked so far, maybe it might be worth a shot. Maybe it might be worth your time to say, you know what? He's on to something. Maybe I'm going to commit to 90 days, 60 days of backtesting this strategy for 1 hour a day. And I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out for myself. I owe it to myself to invest the time to find out if this is worth it or not. If it's not, at least after 60 days, I can say, I found out. I really found out. I just didn't give up after 2 losses and said it didn't work. If you do this, I promise you, you will jump levels in your tier of profitability. You will see success in your trading like you've never seen before. The only thing that is in the way is your belief that it's possible. If you do it, trust me, it's possible. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video. God bless. Live bloopers. There's no bloopers. That was perfect. That was perfect. Let's see what the trade's doing right now, huh? Well, still in the trade. Still sitting there. All right, we're almost at noon. I'm probably going to end up closing here shortly. We'll see how it plays out here. But the lack of retracement tells me we might go higher, especially around noon. No, I didn't take any longs here. I was taking a trade based on the dealing range, looking to see if it will come back into the range. You know, another thing is maybe from studying this enough, and I haven't studied this enough, is that maybe after it comes into premium 2 or 3 times, it's not as reliable. You can anticipate a breakout. Well, you would only know that if you actually put in the time. So I think for something like this, it'd be worth doing. What's up, Johnson? How you doing? So as we come and approach this level here, it's telling me that I don't like it. That's what it's telling me. But we'll keep it. We'll see if it plays out. GC just keeps making higher highs. Keep going, gold. Keep going. 41.25. All right, noon is in 33 seconds. Yeah, I don't use liquidity is enough for me. Liquidity tells me where all those pools of liquidity are. I don't need a book map to know where that. We got a 15-minute fair value gap sitting right here. I like that. I like it. I do. I do. There's an unmitigated. Is that unmitigated? No. That was mitigated already. Yeah. I think it might be wanting to move higher here. That's probably where my max is based on my size that I'd want to take a loss on. So still within my risk parameters of what I would be willing to lose. Ba-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-dum. See, do I have, where is my, there's my drop. Let's see if we can continue, huh? This target now has increased to 824 being the midpoint. So right around that low right there. I don't like those shorts or those drops to being bought up immediately. Those aren't fun. Yeah, I don't think it's going to trend today. I mean, trend, that's hard to say that it's trending when our consolidation range is from 475 to 49. So that's a 200-point consolidation range. This is more ranging, so I anticipate more of a ranging instead of trending. the area that I'm paying attention to is this swing low, because this swing low is a 15-minute fair value gap. So I want to see how it enters this, and it might be what I'm going to have to sell at 852. I don't want to average up right here. It would benefit me by averaging up, but I'm just going to keep it where it's at. I'm going to see if it wants to play down. I still want it to play down to this midpoint of that range that we just created, 50% of that. Because if you look at how price has been moving, it has filled more than 50% of every range that it's created. Every range since London. Here's the range. Come on. Here, what the heck? Why is that? Am I doing the wrong one? I don't understand. What am I missing here? No. Why is it not working? My dashboard is dead. There we go. I was wondering what the heck is going on. Okay. So every range that we've created, here's a range, 50%. Here's the range, 50%. Here's the range, over 50%. Here's the range, 50%. Here's a range, over 50%. Here's the range. So you're telling me that this is going to be the first range that doesn't retrace to 50%? The only thing that I have to be careful about is understanding on where my high is. That's the thing that I don't know. That's why you can't go in on full size on with when you're doing these extreme premiums. It's because at what point, where's that high going to be placed at? We don't know. We're hoping that the high is put in and we don't make any higher highs. I agree, John, but it ain't about peace. It's about political influence. They don't want to give it to Trump. You guys can see my screen, right? Okay, good. So that's still in this short. For those joining, the trade that I'm taking or am currently in is a test trade based on price consolidating, reaching a extreme premium, and anticipating price to move back down to equilibrium. That's my anticipation. So far we've been in drawdown for a majority of this trade. The entry is the blue line. And our target is the midpoint of this range that we've created right here. So midpoint is right here. So target is 24,823 or 824. So right around this low right there. Right there. Not my primary model. Honestly, I haven't even seen my primary model for what I would want to take in these conditions. So outside of this trade, I would have not and would not be taking any trades. All right, so this 15-minute candle is going to close potentially bullish in the next 37 seconds. We'll have to see. If we do close green, we're probably going to hit this high. That's just what I'm anticipating. I was hoping we would see it drop back down into this range. But looking pretty strong here. Do. Let it wick here. So technically now we would have a new dealing range. To this high, and we'll see if it wants to come back down. Good thing this is just a test trade, huh? And we're not copying it. Because my heart would be pumping right now if I was doing this with all my accounts. We'll probably get off here shortly. We've been on, how long have we been on? I don't even know. Would you be against the idea of closing up shop here, Tyler? Right here, I have it set. I wanted to allow it to wick above this swing high to see if it just wanted to sweep it or if it wants to run it. That's really what I'm allowing it to do. If it hits my stop loss here, that's where it's going to close. Sometimes trying to identify where that high is going to be at is difficult when you're in ranging conditions like this. And like I said, this is more of a test trade to learn from on my part than it was to do anything else, because I would not be taking this on my funded accounts. Like I said earlier. Time is at 21. We want to see if this is going to be bought up again. That's what I don't want to have happen. A lot of these drops have been bought up. I just want to see it not be bought up like we're seeing right now and give us a nice solid down close candle. The bought ups are still indicative of strength. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Let's see if it's going to give it to us again, if it's going to keep pushing. The high was, midpoint of that is now at 830. So this is the target. I still don't think we've hit that 15-minute fair value gap yet. Right here. This is what I'm looking for, is this 15-minute fair value gap. For price to reach down into. That's what I want to see. So either we're going to get stopped out or we're going to be, it's going to come down our direction. One or the other. Normal account. Send me an email and I'll send you a link if you joined. All right, out. Wasn't willing to show us a willingness to move lower. That test failed. And we're going to be done on the day. So we'll be back here Wednesday. Today, like I said, pretty chill. Didn't anticipate doing much. We took a test trade. Didn't play out. We will be going live private. We will go live in our private live stream tomorrow. John, I'll check out the news for China news. And we'll do a private stream tomorrow. So if you're part of the Discord, the Purpose Driven Trader Academy, get ready. It's going to be a good live stream tomorrow. Price should move much better than today. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll be back here. We'll be doing some giveaways also towards the end of the week. So stay tuned for that. With that, guys, God bless. Stay safe. And we will see everyone here soon. God bless. Bye-bye.